Hello, and in today's video we are doing a match preview for Huddersfield Town versus Watford in the EFL Championship match week number 15 of the 2023-24 season. That's right, we're back with some Watford videos. I know it's not been that often recently. I did do a match day vlog though of the Millwall game, that 2-2 draw, so if you did miss that, I had a few uploading problems, so apologies for that. I had to upload it using another device, filming basically on my other phone, so the quality of the video wasn't ideal, but unfortunately I didn't have enough storage on my phone for some weird reason to save it as an iMovie. So yeah, apologies for that, but if you did miss that, go back and watch that, because I reacted to Aspria's goal, obviously reacting to Rajovic's late goal to get the equaliser. And so yeah, last few games for Watford, it's been looking up. It's been better than usual. I've got to say, the results at the start of the season weren't there, the performances were, and so off the pitch, things have been encouraging, but it's ultimately still early on in the season. I know that we're sitting in an unfortunate position, really, in 16th, but look, it's early days. I think we just need to get those away wins under our belt to get that confidence, and we did get our first away win for about 9 months after that midweek win against Swansea City. Oh my days, I've just looked that apparently Harry Maguire could be injured after 40 seconds of the Fulham-Manchester United game. That is unfortunate for those that brought him in FPL. Glad I didn't. Anyway, the point is, going back to the Championship, yeah, Watford have been looking good, and obviously it's a win against Swansea. The draw against Millwall, obviously we couldn't keep that win run going. Obviously the win against Sheffield Wednesday as well, which, to be fair, the Sheffield Wednesday performance was not convincing, and we still got the job done. And that's a sign of a good team, I think, the teams that win games, even if they know they haven't played their best. But we played really, really well, I thought, against Millwall and deserved to win that game. And yet we come away from it thinking, oh my days, we've just saved ourselves from a smash and grab Millwall victory. And yes, we got the point, and it's good to see that fighting battle, that fighting belief right until the last minute of injury time, which there should have been at least 12. How there was 6 added minutes, not quite sure. Obviously, the referee against Millwall was awful. Keith Stroud, it's no surprise, he is a Luton fan after all, wearing his orange shirt literally to make fun of it. So yeah, no, it's absolutely abysmal from Keith Stroud. But yeah, ultimately, it was a frustrating result. Performance though was fantastic. We played some great football, especially in the first half. There were periods where we dominated that game, and Millwall really struggled to create anything. There was a few chances for Millwall, but yeah, obviously they got their goals, and ultimately it was a relief to see us get that point. So I think ultimately this game on paper is winnable against a Huddersfield side who have had their kind of struggles at points last season and this season. Obviously, Neil Warnock did the job last season. Obviously, a former Watford man, Joseph Hungbo, went off to Huddersfield and did quite a good job, actually, in his short time there, and now since he's left Watford. But ultimately, I look at it and think, yeah, Huddersfield has struggled this season. Obviously, Warnock's now gone. He's retired. But even now, Huddersfield, I mean, the thing that they will say is they had that new manager bounce under Darren Moore, and to be fair, I've always rated Darren Moore as a manager. Like, he's a great guy, lovely guy, but he's just, I don't know, let's have to see if they can get a win here, but it would be a big scalp if they did. I mean, I say a scalp, we are close in the table, but based on current form was what I meant. Watford would be the favourites, I would imagine, at the John Smith Stadium. So it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, so it kicks off in around about, I don't know, it's about 12:30 now, so around about 3 or 4 hours time, and the game will be underway. So I'm just doing this preview, before the game. I'll do a match review after the game has finished, and we'll get our thoughts on the performance. But yeah, it's not on TV. It's obviously, what with the 3 p.m. blackout, it's not watchable. I mean, I think there is Hive Live, but I'm not sure if it's because it's a 3 p.m. We'll have to see. But anyway, the point is, we're going to be wearing our yellow and black kit, even though it's away from home, which I guess makes sense. But anyway, the point is, we need to be better away from home. So many weeks, so many years and seasons for Watford fans. They've gone up to, Wales or, I don't know, the top of Manchester, whatever, these long away trips, and there's been nothing to take from them. There's been drab, nothing performances, very, kind of letting the game go past them and really not taking the scruff by the neck. And I think this is actually a game Watford need to win, because if they show that consistency away from home, if they show the kind of form that they've been on, they can keep it going for a few games, a little run, that confidence could be massive. I know that obviously we're about as close to the playoff places as we are to the relegation zone, but the point is momentum is the key in the Championship, and when the games come thick and fast, you need that momentum. So hopefully we can back it up with another away win after the Swansea game. I think yeah, look, it's going to be an exciting one. Hopefully, a good game. And yeah, the Terriers have been poor this season, but they have had back-to-back defeats. So hopefully, it's good kind of timing for us. They lost to Cardiff and Leeds. But interesting that none of the 16 league meetings have been drawn. So there's often win or lose, winner takes all sort of thing. And so yeah, it's been not very tight games in the past, but the Terriers have won 3 of their last 5 games against us in the second tier, which is not ideal, really. I remember that game in the Premier League, though, as well, at Vicarage Road, where we just got absolutely battered. I think it was under Marco Silva, and Laurent de Poitre just absolutely sold us a new one. And Decore, to be fair, scored a banger of a goal from a long distance, but we were just so off the pace. And then, of course, we lost late on in the game, in the reverse fixture of that season, under Marco Silva. I think by then, actually, it might have been Javi Grazia in charge, but a late winner, and a game that we really needed to win to carry on the momentum of that season. And yeah, Tom Ince with a late winner, and it was a gutting blow, and a game we should have won. And now Tom Ince is on the right side of the teams playing for us. So hopefully, if he starts, we'll have to see. He didn't start the last game. If he can get the goals on the right side of the pitch, that would be great. Obviously, played. I think he came on for his debut in his former match against his former side, Stoke. So hopefully, if he starts this one, he can make an impact. We have, although, won 5 of our last 8 away league games to Huddersfield. So our record is still fairly strong. I know that we've lost 3 of those, but it's I remember Delafeu that season. He scored a couple, and we won up at Huddersfield that season under Javi Grazia, where we nearly got the FA Cup. So I think there's ultimately a lot of positives. Form wise, it's looking good for us, but they have been a team that sometimes do upset us. So Ryan Andrews, great to see he's back from his 4-game suspension. So basically we've got everyone available. So hopefully that should really give us confidence. I mean, this time last season we had about 30 injuries. So yeah, we've been a bit more fortunate this time around. Obviously the squad is still quite thin. We haven't brought in a lot of players. It's been mainly clearing them out this season with the kind of reset and rebuild under Valérien Ismail. But it is a process. It is a project. We've got to be patient, but the performances recently have been very, very impressive. Jack Rudoni, Josh Koroma and Danny Ward are all absent, which is, all good news really for Watford. David Kasumu and Josh Ruffles have returned to training, so we'll have to see if they make the cut. In terms of what Valérien said, I mean, look, I think I agree with basically what most he says in press conferences, and there is that passion, there is that mentality that the Watford squad has shown this season. It's just sometimes not winning the goals and not winning the games. But look, I think, Huddersfield, Darren Moore, good manager, as I mentioned, and I think there's a big chance here for Watford to kind of stamp their authority on the league. Not to say that we're going to get promoted, because I don't think that's the sort of season we're looking at, but it's just to show a bit of kind of quality, and also just make Watford a bit more of a team that people sit up and notice, because the last few seasons it has been abysmal. Head-to-head record overall, 13 wins for Huddersfield, 5 draws and 16 losses. Actually, no, I say wins for Huddersfield, wins for 13 Watford, and 16 losses. So actually quite a good record generally for Watford, but they have actually lost more games against Huddersfield than they've won. The last 6, though, they lost against Huddersfield 3-2. That was, of course, a despairing, terrible game to sum up the atrocity that was last season for us. And Daniel Backman, obviously now the captain, getting himself sent off in the last few seconds of that game. That was a depressing day. We also did, though, win the game this time last season at Huddersfield, 2-0 victory. So hopefully that can kind of continue. Those 2-0 wins, they're often quite frequent against Huddersfield. But we also did lose in the game where Ivic got sacked. We brought in Cisco, and he obviously got promoted that season. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can carry on the good memories. But hopefully a nice victory for the Hornets on Saturday. Come on, you Horns! Got to get that away form back in check and back, looking good. In terms of predicted lineup for me, I think this is a game that really we don't change much. Like we're playing well. Obviously, didn't win against Millwall, and I do feel that we need to work on set pieces, defending from set pieces, because that is going to be such a big thing for us. Oh my days, McTominay's just scored. For God's sake, of all people, McTominay scored. And I messaged someone in the week, they had their FPL team, and they were like, oh, McTominay, honestly, he's going to cook. And I said, they had Mbeumo on the bench for Brentford, and I was like, well, he's on pens. You've got to start McTominay, start Mbeumo over McTominay. And they were like, trust me, McTominay's going to cook. And I said back, but Mbeumo is a better FPL pick. He's going to cook more. That was not a incorrect statement. Mbeumo's better, but oh my days, I feel bad now. He's probably benched McTominay. He might not have listened, but so it's unfortunate that. Yeah, fair enough. But yes, McTominay after 8 minutes, that is crazy. So fair play. Fulham defence this season isn't looking too good, is it? It's not looking too good, Brev. The assist for Garnacho as well, who, yeah, fair enough. I didn't think he'd start. But anyway, going back to this, yeah, as I said, predicted lineup. I mean, look, we don't need to change a lot. I think the performance first half from Millwall was really, really decent. And we should have really been a few up, to be honest. 2 or 3 goals up in that first half. But because we didn't, and, they got the goal quite soon after we scored, it was almost like that killed us, and that really lost our momentum. And we also needed to make the triple sub at the 60-minute mark. And look, I know that Rajovic obviously got the the equaliser, and Loser got the assist, but Loser's not been great recently, and so our midfield 3 of Kayembe, Livermore and Kone actually looked really good. Now, I wonder whether we go with that again on Saturday, but ultimately, yeah, I don't like the 3 subs at 60 minutes, because it just takes the momentum out of our play, and we just kind of tactically have to change things up, and it just doesn't look good. So I would hope that Valérien be a bit more patient, maybe make a sub, if things aren't going to plan, around 65, 70 minutes, but don't have to do 3 all at once. Just do it sparingly and do it, carefully. So I would have to say that. But in goal will be Batman, of course. Probably still going to have the same 2 centre-backs, though, I would imagine, because although Portis is now back, obviously was back on the bench last week, I think Sierrata was really impressive against Millwall, so I would hope he would start again alongside Wesley Hoot. On left-back, of course, it's Jamal Lewis, who's been really, really good this season. Oh, hello. VAR. I think VAR have just ruled out the goal, so that's good. My blush has been spared for that guy who I've said. I think they've just chalked it off. Yeah, they have. Crazy. Wow, fair enough. Apparently it's controversial as well, so stupid VAR, ridiculous. But anyway, Lewis, left back. Yeah, he's been so good the last few games. To be fair, so has Jeremy Ngakia, so it's hard. Andrews is now back available for selection, but I would still keep with Ngakia because he's been so good recently. So I think until Ngakia shows some kind of dropping off of performance, or there's some good stuff in training from Andrews, I wouldn't rush Andrews back in, honestly. Ngakia's been that good in the last few performances. Midfield 3, I would like to go with the same midfield that we had against Millwall. Kone, Livermore, Kayembe. And then the front 3 is tricky because... Or maybe actually we can give a start to Georgi Chakvedadze because I think he deserves one. He looks so good when he's played and he's just not really got the minutes. So maybe we could play almost like a 4-2-3-1 maybe, and have the midfield 4. The defensive 4, as I said, then a 4-2-3-1. So we almost have like the sitting players of maybe Livermore and Kone maybe, or Livermore and Kayembe, but probably Livermore and Kayembe, and then in front of that 2, almost playing as like a number 8, number 10, we could have Chakvedadze. So that's a 4-2-3-1. So then the 3 in the kind of attack, I would say probably Asprilla, Sema, and I don't know who would be central. 4-2-3-1. I guess it's a 4-2-3-1. So that 3, part of that 3 is Chakvedadze. So yeah, ignore me. Chakvedadze, Sema, and Asprilla, and then up front, I would go for probably Bio again. I think Bio, I know he didn't play well and Rajovic obviously scored, but I think Bio is better when he starts games. I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a toss of the coin between Rajovic and Bio. Who knows who'll play? But that's what I'm going for. My predicted lineup. Hopefully a win. I don't know if Ince will start. Maybe he will. We'll have to see. And Loser, I don't know. I wouldn't start Loser this week. I think he's just not getting games. And he's just, he did get the assist last time out, but yeah, I don't know. maybe even give Reece Healy a go, because you know Healy, to be fair, he showed his defensive side of the game by getting that clearance in the game against Millwall, but I'd like to see him get minutes and see if he can actually score goals. It would be good. But yeah, it's a tricky one whether we bring in Pollock back in. I think, sorry, not Pollock, Porteous. It's a one for Valorant to decide, but I really did think Sierralta played well. So yeah, those are my lineup predictions. Score prediction though, I think we'll get this win. I think we should hopefully be fairly comfortable today. I'd like to say that as a Watford fan, but we never make it comfortable, so who knows. I'll say Huddersfield Town 0, Watford 2. Goal scorers Jamal Lewis on 25 minutes, and then to wrap up the victory on 84 minutes, Yasser Espria, the man in the picture. So yeah, hopefully a nice victory, but get your score predictions in the comment section below before that 3 PM kickoff, and I'll see you for the match review after the game. Bye bye.